Doctors up in arms across the country. A nationwide protest by resident doctors has been called for today after the chilling murder of a young doctor on duty in a government college in Kolkata. The 31-year-old doctor was allegedly raped brutally and then murdered. Her body was in fact found inside the premises of the government college. One person has been arrested. He's now been sent to a 14-day police custody. But doctors demand justice. Is there no safety in the line of duty? A healer is wounded, given the fact that resident doctors are up in arms. There you can see those visuals of resident doctors taking to the streets, demanding a fair investigation. Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee has promised a fair probe. In fact, the medical superintendent of this government college has also been suspended. But is it too little, too late? Our colleagues from across the country are joining us live. Tanushka, Saurabh and Anuj will be joining us. But take a look at those visuals. India's top doctors, India's resident doctors having to take to the streets. Well, this is a grim situation as far as safety of doctors is concerned. There is no provision of safety against violence against our doctors. In fact, this was such an horrific incident given the fact that the 31-year-old woman doctor was killed while she was on duty. Are we going to go back to a time where night shift is yet again, unsafe for our women doctors? The hospital superintendent has been removed from the post, but is that enough? Who really takes accountability? It was inside the government college that this young doctor was brutally raped and allegedly murdered. My colleague Saurabh Gupta is now joining us live from Kolkata. So Saurabh, the medical superintendent has been removed from his post. One person has been arrested, but is that enough? Who takes accountability? Doctors are up in arms and rightfully so. They demand a fair investigation.
Yes, that's been the demand of the doctors, and that's a very fair demand. And the police commissioner of Kolkata has also responded, saying that we've conducted a completely transparent investigation, and also we are not opposed to an investigation by any other agency should the family of the doctor demand it. But larger protests have taken place, with several organizations now coming into the picture and holding these protests, and this has gone far beyond this particular case. One of the things that many doctors are talking about is that they want security at the workplace, and security at the workplace is necessary given the fact that doctors really don't have shifts. Doctors have to work at odd hours in the day, and one of the things that many medical students and resident doctors, or junior doctors as they're called, are pointing out is that the lack of facilities. For example, there is no proper place to rest or change, or even proper toilets, and the facilities that are provided to them at state-run hospitals are pathetic, to say the least, and that's something that exposes them to further risks, because then they have to find places like seminar rooms, etc., just to catch some rest in the middle of shifts, or even just catch up on their studies. This is what that doctor was doing, the junior doctor. She was catching up on her studies, when someone who should not have had access, ideally, to that seminar room, did get access, walked in, committed such a heinous crime, brutally murdered her. There was sexual assault. And of course, the nature of the injuries, if you look at the nature of the injuries, they are very, very severe injuries. And, for one person to have caused those injuries must have been a really, really nasty scene out there. And therefore, that's something that doctors are also pointing out. One is proper security, and the second thing is proper facilities for junior doctors. Now, what is the state government doing? One of the things the state government, of course, like you said, has already suspended the superintendent, also made an arrest of the culprit, who's the accused in the case. But beyond that, now what we've been also given to understand is that they're identifying more places and more how these facilities that these students have been demanding can immediately be included, including looking at a tram, specifically if I talk about the RG Kar Medical College and Hospital, the Belgacia tram depot, which is a short distance away, is also being considered as a possible extension to better the facilities, because remember, these are state-run hospitals. They don't turn away patients. They cater to the number of patients that is far beyond capacity, and these doctors really put in long hours. They really really put in service that's way beyond what is demanded of them or what they're supposed to do. They handle many more patients than they're equipped to handle, and they do it diligently. And yes, there are always complaints about, the quality of healthcare at public hospitals. That's but simply because of the overload of the system. And this is a larger public healthcare system problem. This is not limited to one incident. Of course, this incident is the trigger to highlighting these problems that have existed that can lead to terrible, shocking, brutal incidents like these. But one of the things that everyone's talking about is better facilities for junior doctors, and that's why we are seeing these protests across the country. The state government saying that they're already looking into all of these things. This incident, of course, very, very unfortunate. And of course, there's politics also over the incident, and
yes,
that is something that the BJP and the opposition CPIM have also protested about. And the Trinamool has said, look, we've arrested the accused, we've,
yes, but keeping the politics aside for a moment, Saurabh, because, of course, the focus right now, as you pointed out, is on the rights of our junior doctors, our resident doctors, who, as you point out, there's already enough workload, there's already shortage of doctors across cities, and then these kind of incidents really worsen the situation for our doctors, particularly resident doctors. Tanushka is also with us. I believe she's outside one of the government hospitals in Delhi. I'm not sure if she's outside AIIMS, but Tanushka, how has the strike impacted government colleges, government hospitals here in the national capital? Are you seeing any sort of impact just yet?
Exactly, Vedant. I'm outside Safdarjung Hospital right now, wherein in a powerful, display of outrage and solidarity against this heinous crime that was committed in the brutal rape and murder of this trainee doctor in RG Kar Medical Hospital in Calcutta. What we understand is that protests have broken out nationwide. This is what the Indian Medical Association had also, given a 48-hour ultimatum that if immediate action is not taken into this case and a probe is not, in place, then nationwide protests will be in full swing. And in Delhi, ever since yesterday evening at these major government hospitals in AIIMS, be it Safdarjung, be it GTP Hospital, all of these hospitals have, started off with candle marches with respect to the murder of this doctor. And, in a show that all of these services, the elective services at these government hospitals will be indefinitely halted unless and until there is action taken in. What the IMA has also demanded, there are 3 demands that come from IMA's side, is that, of course, definite and thorough investigation into the case as to how is it that, also as how Saurabh, my colleague, was pointing out earlier, how is it that a man just, walks into premises where he is apparently not allowed to walk into, and wherein these seminar halls wherein this woman was studying and preparing and also taking rest, just walks in and commits such a crime. How is this that this is possible? Security measures need to be checked across all hospitals in the country, especially, of course, in Kolkata, and a thorough investigation into the case, as well as maintaining an overall and holistic picture of security and safety, ensuring safety for these doctors. Because what's the question right now is how are we to expect these doctors to save lives when their lives are not safe in the first place?
Absolutely, and as you point out that it's rightfully so that the doctors are demanding justice, but really sad and unfortunate to see doctors having to take to streets. In fact, look at those resident doctors there. As Saurabh was also pointing out, it's about a larger collapse of the public healthcare system, the rights of doctors, safety against violence. All those are very pertinent questions. My colleague Anuj is also joining us, I'm being told, from Mumbai. Anuj, what is the impact of the strike there? Do you see resident doctors already out on the streets? What are you witnessing?
The kind of protest that we are going to see here in Mumbai is slightly different from what might be the case in the rest of the country. I'm here at the JJ Hospital, one of the oldest medical institutions, not just in India, but in the entire South Asia, where all the residential doctors, especially from the postgraduate courses, would be making a mark and standing in solidarity with the victim and the victim's family here throughout the day. And they'll be doing it not by putting off a strike, because this is one of the most busy hospital, one of the busiest hospital here in the city, but by wearing a black band on their arm. And they'll also be having a candle march later today. We contacted the students yesterday, and then they told us about how they had reached out to people and to students to across the city to make sure that this particular form of protest kind of resonates and spreads across the city, through which they can continue to do their work. Because as we can see, the work here, or the hospitals here, will start functioning at a greater pace as soon as the clock hits 9 or 10 a.m. And that is when the doctors, the medical students, will start coming here to the hospital, and they'll function as smoothly as they always did by just wearing a black arm to show their, as a sign of solidarity, to stand with the victim in Kolkata.